Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in and welcome to my channel. I have a brand new eyeshadow palette to share with you guys. Actually, this is also a new brand to me. This is a smaller indie brand called Makeup Monsters Cosmetics, and this is their first ever eyeshadow palette, I think. They are very popular for their very colorful, very out of the box beautiful colored lipsticks, liquid lipsticks especially. And I have bought the liquid lipsticks. I first bought the liquid lipsticks and then I got sucked into it and then I ended up buying the palette. I will do a liquid lipstick review on the brand, but I have bought so many, I'm dreading a little bit. Just the lip swatch session, I'm just wow, just a lot of application, a lot of removal of the liquid lipstick. So anyways, I will do it very soon. But let's talk about the palette right here. This is called, oh, excuse my nails. I've been doing a lot of hard work. That's all I can tell you guys. So this palette retails for $42. I know it's a little pricey for an indie brand, and you get only 12 shades. Yep, 12 shades, $42. That is like Kat Von D pricing, you guys. That is quite expensive. Sephora pricing. Yeah, that too for a smaller indie brand that's not very popular. This is called the Dragon Child palette, and they have the the scales of a dragon kind of. That is the design, and it is like very holographic. Now this is what holographic means. And then it actually came in a sleeve, and it does not come with a mirror, which is actually, I don't know, it has to. I spent $42 on only 12 shadows. It has to come with a mirror, but it didn't. Instead, get a quote. Get a quote from George R.R. Martin. It says, "If you want to conquer the world, you best have dragons." Yeah. And then there's like a dragon asleep with this, maybe, I don't know, a bat girl. Not like not like the super hero Batgirl, but she's a girl with like bat wings. That's why I'm calling her the Bat Girl. She has horns and she has like a purple bow on her hair. So yeah, that's anyways. But I really think it should have come with a mirror. It's a real shame that this palette costs so much but no mirror. And this brand itself is cruelty free and vegan, I think. I'm not entirely sure about if the brand is vegan, but this palette is vegan and talc free. So it says cruelty free and vegan brand. Oh, it says brand. Okay, so the entire brand is cruelty free and vegan, and it says made with love in Newman Lake, Washington. So the palette, I think the brand looks like the brand itself is based out of Washington. And what else? $42, and the list of ingredients is here at the back of the sleeve. You also get the list of ingredients on the product page on the website. But oops, I just dropped everything. But it doesn't tell you how much you get on the website, which is actually a little, I don't know, unprofessional, because when you're buying something, like a basic business transaction is how much you pay and how much you get. It only says how much you have to pay them. It doesn't say how much you get on the website, which it has to. But it doesn't say on the palette as well how much product you get in weight, in grams, but it only says on the sleeve, which thank God I kept. I did not notice it. I just sat down to review and talk to you guys about the product, and I was looking for how much product, and I couldn't find it. And finally I located the sleeve, and it says on the sleeve, it says you get 12 times 1.8 to 2 grams of product. So I think the weight varies from 1.8 grams to 2 grams, which is definitely a good sized pan size, and the total weight is actually really good. But still, a mirror would have actually been perfect. And now, as you can see, this is more of a cool, few warm tones, but predominantly it's a cool tone palette, which makes this palette a standout palette, at least at the moment, when cool warm tones are trending so much. I think for a couple of years, right? For 2 years straight, we've been seeing so many warm tone palette. So this one definitely stands out. You have two purples and then one grayish blue, and then you have a gray itself, and then three greenish shades, and then one also like an intermediate blue, and then you have two metallics. So out of the 12 shades, 10 are mattes and you have only two metallics, which is actually, they've chosen the perfect colors for metallics, because these two colors actually pretty much go with all of these mattes, you guys. I would say they are perfect. So yeah, let's get into the swatches. We've spoken about the price, $42, and you get in each pan 1.8 grams to 2 grams of product, which is actually very, very good. And you have the names of the shadows printed in here in the palette. No mirror. Actually the palette itself is pretty heavy because you get a good sized amount in each pan. So palette itself is heavy, but the packaging is cardboard without a mirror again. Anyways, let's get to the swatches. The first one here is Lucky, which is actually white base with peachy pink reflex, but on my darker skin the white pops way more than the peachy pink colors. So on my skin it is just looks like white. So I think on fairer skin and in a lighter skin, the white might blend into their lighter skin tone, and the pink and the peach would just pop more prominently, more distinctly. But on my skin tone, the white, just all I see is the white. Just only if I like really look close by, I see all those different reflex. This is the color I have in the inner 1/3 of the eyelid. As you can see, it just looks like a whitish shade with a slight hint of peach. So yeah, that is Lucky. That is Lucky. And then Myth or Legend. Hang on. Oh yeah, this is a really interesting shade. This is a very much of a mid-tone teal shade. This looks very blue, but when you use it when you apply it very close to a green color, it pulls more green. For example, this is the shade I have just right there, and right beside that I have like a green, like a grass green shade. Do you see it like pulls more green? I don't know, I feel it just it's a beautiful teal shade, like a mid-tone beautiful teal shade. In the pan it looks more blue, but I think depending on how you use it with the color combination wise, it can really look beautiful and really complement both green and blue is what I'm trying to say. And then we have Dragon Child, which is like mint shade. Mint shades are not my favorite really. I don't know, for some reason my school uniform was the exact shade of this mint color, and I don't know, it's probably rubbed me in the wrong way, I think. I've never been a fan of this mint green, probably because my school uniform was very similar to this color. So I don't know, but great pigmentation, applies very well with brush, and as you can see, very, very pigmented green. And so yeah, good pigmentation. And then this is that grass green that I was talking about. I have just right in the center of my crease, just right there. It's a beautiful green, you guys. It does not greens like these usually kind of oxidize on the skin, and it looks very like hunter green or very like a bottle green, but this does not. It actually looks very vibrant, and it's a mid-tone green, and that's how it looks on my skin as well, and it lasts really well, and pigmentation is very good. So that is the top row, those four. And then let's move on to the second row. Stone Drake. This is like a very, I wouldn't say pastel because it has a lot of gray, so it's not very bright, but it's a very muted, yeah, on my skin tone maybe it looks pastel, but it's a very muted kind of color. And as you can see, if you blend it out, it looks more gray on my skin tone, but I think on lighter skin tone, it might look really true to color. But it does not look ashy, you guys. I can tell you guys that much. Even even if I blend it out on my skin tone, it doesn't look very ashy. So yeah, it's good pigmentation again, blends well. And then we have Firefly, which is, I know it looks very golden, but again, this color, depending on whether you use it by itself or, you know, if you use it next to greens, I feel this pulls more greenish yellow right now, because I've used, this is the color I have in the 2/3 of my eyelid. Just the first 1/3 of the eyelid I have this color, and then the rest of the eyelid I have the gold color. And honestly, I feel it pulls more green. It pulls like lime green kind of a color, not overly green, but lemon yellow kind of color, you know, with just tiny hint of yellow. Good pigmentation, definitely. But this is, I feel this one is more foil than this. So both eyeshadows are kind of on the, both metallics are slightly on the drier side, but not powdery, not crumbly, definitely. They pick up well with the brush, well with the finger, they work well either ways. But this is not as foil as this. Do you see? This is, I don't know, all the particles in the eyeshadow, they kind of cling together with one another. This is slightly loose. And then this is Flame Tongue. This is a beautiful terracotta orange kind of shade. I think I kind of knew this might not be very dark on my skin tone. I probably definitely need to use like a some other color to deepen the crease. But it's a beautiful color, excellent pigmentation, looks really, really beautiful. I have mixed this with another color, this like this mauve maroon color, these two on the lower lash line and the outer crease that you see. So that is Flame Tongue, and that again has very good pigmentation. We have Dragon Rider, which is actually, I think, the last color in the second row. So that is the last color in second row. This blue, I think you guys might have noticed, this blue is so popular at the moment, you guys. Every palette, every eyeshadow collection, singles collection has this blue. So popular. And yeah, so this has this similar color like that, and again pigmentation beautiful, it performs very well, blends well. So those are the two rows. So let's get into the bottom row. This is called Smoke 'em Out, and that is just a true gray color. Pretty much looks like concrete color, you know, like a, this definitely deepens and it does not look very ashy, as you can see. It's not a very ashy color. It definitely brings depth to my, even on my skin tone. And then we have Cave Dweller. Cave Dweller is like a bluish, like a navy blue mixed with a little bit of gray. You know, do you see how deep that color is? You can see the grays, right, as I'm blending it into the skin. So that is Cave Dweller. And then we have the color Worm. It's more of a brighter version of Stone Drake. If you're wondering what Stone Drake is, this is Stone Drake, which is like a lighter purple that we saw, and this is more brighter. Honestly, both kind of look very similar on my skin tone. This shade looks a little bit brighter. Hang on. This one looks a little bit brighter than this, obviously, but blended in, they kind almost look similar. You know, I would say there is a difference, but not a significant one. It's not that significant enough for both of them to be in the same palette, if you know what I mean. Now, I think they could have just included Worm, maybe, because it's more brighter, so I like it on my skin tone. Maybe they could have just left this one out, Stone Drake. And then finally, again, Worm has good pigmentation, blends very well. Finally is Mother Dragon, which is like a maroon mauve shade. Again, as you can see, it just blends into my skin tone. Not a very deep shade, not deep enough to give a lot of dimension. and not deep enough for me to create a very dramatic look. So those are the swatches of the Dragon Child palette. My overall thoughts, let's talk about the quality. The mattes are very smooth and buttery to the touch, but they are quite powdery, guys. Talking about if you dip your brush in here a little bit, you know, if you exert a lot of pressure in your brush on the pan, you are going to see a lot of powder, just a lot of eyeshadow, and then there's also a lot of fallout while applying it on the eyes. Those are the two drawbacks, I would say. But besides that, the pigmentation is 10 out of 10, blendability is 10 out of 10, lasting power is 10 out of 10. I think I've had this makeup on for 6 hours now, definitely 6 hours, and I can, do you see how vibrant this color is? This is that, oh yeah, that's the color. Do you see how vibrant that is? And this green is this one. Hang on, let me show it in the palette, otherwise just swatches don't make sense. So this blue is this one, and then this green is just in the center of the crease. That green is kind of faded because the gold has kind of transferred to that area where I applied the green. That's why it looks a little faded. But in person, if you really look closely, the green is intact. That matte green that I applied 6 hours ago looks intact. And what else? I wish this had a little bit more depth, these two colors, but they are more mid-tone kind of colors, so they don't really create a lot of depth and dimension. But let's see how it looks under eye. Under eye is kind of blended away, but you can still see that shadow, that terracotta shadow right below my kajal, my black kajal. You can see it, I think. And then also in the outer V, I just have it smudged out and just blended it out, like blown out effect. And just in the inner corner, I have another eyeshadow. So that's it. That's my look, you guys. Finally, I think the only drawback, as I said, the mattes are too buttery, that they are kind of powdery. So if you if you put a lot of pressure in the pan and the eyeshadow, you are going to see a lot of eyeshadow or product just getting a little bit of wasted. And when you apply it on the eyes, there is a little bit of fallout, definitely. Not when you're applying it here. I didn't experience a fallout when I'm applying this shadow or this shadow. I did see fallout when I was applying in the outer V, just here. So yeah, that's it. Hope you guys found this video useful. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked watching it, and please do subscribe. I really appreciate it, and thank you so much for spending your time with me. I really appreciate that as well, and I will see you guys very soon in my next video. Bye bye.